Hey guys, I'm Randy.
And I'm Daniel.
We're two lifelong friends and musicians, but when we're not playing gigs, we like to talk games.
And today, on the Game and Gig podcast, we're talking about the ticking time bomb that is modern free-to-play games. So Randy, I sent you an article earlier in the week from The Verge. And the title of the article was, it was kind of a funny article, it was called The Ticking Time Bomb That Is Modern Free-to-Play Games. And I just thought it was a really interesting article because it discussed a lot of things that, in a way, we've kind of talked about disliking for quite a while.
Yeah, a lot of the concerns that we have expressed on the podcast in the past were maybe summed up maybe more eloquently in this article than we've ever put it, but it definitely was an interesting read.
And I think they approached it from a different angle than we normally do. Like, we talk about how the all-digital future scares the crap out of us. Like, we're not new to that. But I don't know that we've ever really talked about how the free-to-play games specifically are going to suffer because of this.
Right.
Because it's a slightly different issue. It's a little more nuanced.
Right. It's not just about having a physical copy. It's really like that these games can't exist in anything but a digital space. And because of that, once the servers are down, the games are just gone. And what can you do?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you're like me, you maybe have never thought about that before. But I mean, think about all the mobile games that are big. Or the best example to me is Fortnite. Fortnite does not have a single-player mode. So one of these days, probably a long time from now because it makes tons of money, they're going to decide to stop supporting Fortnite servers. They're going to shut down. And this massive, worldwide phenomenon that has literally, changed pop culture will just be gone.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy to think that we could see a future in which it's just lost gaming, which there are tons of games that have been lost that were single player games. But it seems like these free to play games are almost destined to almost certainly have that
They're
future.
double lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we love Sea of Thieves.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be gone one day. There's no single player Sea of Thieves. There's no offline Sea of Thieves. Apex Legends, not our favorite game, but a lot of people's favorite game.
Mm-hmm.
That's no single player. There's really no shortage of games that are in the same boat.
Right. And I mean, there are some workarounds, I think the most common workaround I've seen is that games that were these MMOs, they might have someone will set up a private server to try to keep the game going. But even that relies on someone maintaining this private server.
Right.
So, it eventually is going to have a death. And Daniel, you okay, man?
Man, I'm
you
just
choking on some water?
No, I just get choked up when I think about Fortnite going away forever because I've re-fallen in love with it, and it just kind of touches me.
So I'm not going to make a joke about that. There's a joke to be had there, but I'm not going to make it.
What are you talking about?
Exactly. I'm just going to leave it. If you didn't get it, I'm not going to spell it out for you.
Fortnite touched me.
So, I'm going to try to get us back on topic here.
Fortnite touched me.
Yep. Eventually you're going to get it. It's going to come to you. But but for real though, all these online games, once they're down, there's a good chance that we may not see them. Now I've got an idea. I think that this is something that we could potentially see happen.
Okay. Hit me with it.
So, I had an idea of because in the article they talked about how, I think it was one of the Kingdom Hearts mobile games. Mm-hmm. I can't remember what it was called, but they've created an offline mode where at least you can go and see the things that you've done. You can see your accomplishments. You can't play the game, but you can at least, there's still a version of the game where you can go look at the stuff you've done. At least it's not completely gone.
Kingdom Hearts X, I think is what it's called.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is an option. Mm-hmm. But what I would really like to see for something like Fortnite, Sea of Thieves, Apex Legends, I think that if I were the developer of these games and I wanted to preserve them, what I would like to see happen is once the game is shutting down, they create a legacy version of the game. There's a physical cartridge or a physical disc. Mm-hmm. And what it is it's a single player version of the game where you still play against all bots.
Yeah.
But it preserves and maybe like have every map that you could pull up and like every weapon and it just be a way like a giant vault
Yeah,
of the game. And even though you
and maybe
can't,
you could even play your friends.
yeah.
That would be
And
awesome.
like maybe it isn't the game as because it requires everyone to be hooked up to servers.
Yeah.
Like maybe if you could figure out a way to make it serverless so it really could at least the legacy of the game be preserved. So that if you wanted to have a way to at least go see all this stuff again, that's what I would like to see.
That would be really cool for Fortnite specifically because we've already lost like several incarnations of the Fortnite map.
Well,
Think about how different the map is now than it was the first time we played Fortnite.
oh yeah, it's very different.
And we can't go back to that.
I'm assuming that those maps are stored somewhere. Like they probably have it somewhere.
You would think so.
You would think.
But I don't know that they ever are planning to let us see it again.
Yeah, no, but wouldn't it be cool if we could?
It would be.
Like if they created this physical version of the game that really was just meant to be a legacy, just to remember the game by. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it may take some. I know they already have implemented bots into the game, so surely they could make it so that
in a really well done way too. Shout out to Fortnite for bringing in bots when you're new to the game without telling you. Good on you.
Yeah,
It lets you learn the game, build a little confidence.
yeah,
That man,
yeah, they
Fortnite
did
is so good.
Yeah, they did. They do a good job of that.
You know what else is good? Cana Bridge of Spirits. Have you ever wished you could get caned like never before? Well, now you can. In Cana and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Coming soon to a console near you. Get caned, folks.
You hit my mic stand with Kana.
That's awesome.
My mic stand just got caned.
I was trying to go to more of a 45-degree angle, but trying to maintain eye contact with the camera, it was tough, man.
Yeah. So, I would like to see some sort of physical version of these games just for preservation's sake. Mm-hmm. And, I don't know. I don't know if they're ever going to do that, but I think that would be a cool workaround. But a lot of these mobile games, that's not really an option. I mean, maybe they could figure out a way to preserve them somehow, but
yeah,
there are so many mobile games that come and go.
What is that huge Genshin Impact?
Oh, yeah.
That game is huge, and everybody says it's really well done, and it's like a mobile Breath of the Wild in a lot of ways, but is also essentially pay to win. Yeah, I mean, that game's just going to go away one day.
I mean, I've already have, like there are many games that I played on mobile games that I can't go back and play. Like one of the big ones that continuously comes up to me is
Flappy Bird, exactly.
Well, Flappy Bird.
R.I.P.
That is one that a lot of people talk about. No, I don't really care to do that. But one game that I really wish I could access is Tetris. So like
Tetris.
Yeah, there was a mobile version of Tetris. Okay, and it was actually a really good version of Tetris, and they supported it for a long time, and then they closed it and they created a free-to-play version of Tetris, which you'd think would be better, but the free-to-play version it's not as good as the OG Tetris game was. But when they introduced the free-to-play one, they got rid of the paid version, and now you can't play that free official Tetris on mobile anymore. It's just gone.
There's a lot of ways to play Tetris, but I guess not that specific version.
And that was the version that I've played the most Tetris on.
Yeah.
And it was a really good mobile, because Tetris is one of those games that you can just swipe and play. Like it's really a fun way to kill time.
Yeah.
And I don't like the free-to-play version.
Huh.
So
Well, I'm sorry that happened to you, man.
I mean, but that's just one of many games. I mean, like, think about how many mobile games there are. And the thing about mobile games is that they're typically, I know, like me, I play them for a few weeks and then I never play them again.
Yeah.
But there have been times I'm like, ooh, I want to go back and play, Cut the Rope or, whatever games I've played in the past. And although a lot of them are still there and supported, some of them are just completely gone.
I actually revisited Hill Climb Racing too.
Oh, that's a good one.
The other day.
Yeah, I used to play that one a lot.
Dude, that game is so fun. Mm-hmm. I pulled it up at it certainly wasn't at a faculty meeting. Let me tell you that.
Okay.
And
you pulled it up on your couch at home on your own time.
Exactly. On my own time. And man, that game is so good. It's still so good.
Yeah.
I remembered exactly which car I liked the most, and I just jumped right
I
back
liked the one I liked the most. I remember was some sort of like monster truck looking thing. I don't remember.
Yeah, there's a monster truck or
It
two.
was
There's several. There's
several.
Trucks.
Of those. Yeah, I really like that one. But so here's the thing: is it okay? I mean, is that just the way these games are? Is it just, should we just accept it, or should we like try to encourage or like create a movement where people are like trying to preserve these games? Because I personally really like game preservation. I buy pretty much all physical when I can.
Yeah.
And it bums me out.
Yeah. It also, in a way, maybe kind of makes it special. Like, our grandkids, they're not going to probably be able to play Fortnite. And we did. We took part in that. So that kind of makes it special, but I'm not justifying it. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I mean, but it's like the great philosopher Joe Dirt said, better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all.
Is that what Joe Dirt said?
Yeah.
I don't remember Joe saying that.
I think it might have been about his sister, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe don't take that advice.
Yeah.
Ouch.
But
it's a weird conundrum, and it's interesting to think about.
It is very interesting to think about. Those of you guys who are watching here, what do you think? Do you think that this is a problem? Should there be more of a movement towards preservation of these mobile or free-to-play games? I mean, I get that they require to be online. They require servers, and eventually those are going to go down. But what is the solution?
You can't allocate manpower to it forever, and I get that.
No. But is there a solution, or do we just have to accept the fact that these games are going to go away? Is it, one thing we didn't talk about very much is about all the people who have poured tons and tons of money into these.
Oh, man. How do we skip over that? Yeah, it's like, it is huge business. I mean, huge money. That's why it's so popular. That's why the free-to-play game model with microtransactions is so popular. Because it's way more profitable.
Right. I think that, if I'm not mistaken, the free-to-play gaming sector is the most profitable part of gaming now, right?
Gotta be.
It's gotta be.
Gotta be.
And which is crazy that the free-to-play is the most profitable, but that's just the way it is.
They knew what they were doing.
Right. Because it taps into a side of your brain that is very different than when you just buy a game and play it and then you're done with it.
Well, I mean, you bought a battle pass yesterday on Fortnite.
I'm not going to say that I wasn't pressured into it from my friends who all made me do it, but
literally no one made him do that.
No one made me do it, but they all very heavily encouraged me to do it.
I mean, I just told
especially this one.
I just told you why I thought it wasn't a bad idea. That's all I did.
No, and
that's all I did. I did not. You bought it. I didn't even know you had bought it. I came back to the lobby and I was like, "Did you get a battle pass, Randy?"
Yeah. I spent the $8.
Yeah, because and my argument, I'll give it to you guys too. Like, it's a free to play game. If you want to play it and not spend any money, you can totally do that. You can still be just as good and have just as much fun. Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, it depends on what you're into it for. If you're just in it for the gameplay, you're not going to have any less fun. But a battle pass is $8. You get V-Bucks back. If you want to just save them up and spend them on the next battle pass, you can do that. So that would essentially make it like a one-time purchase, unless you don't make back exactly enough. I haven't ran the numbers on it, but I think you do. But it's close either way. But you get so many just little silly things that make me laugh, through the battle pass. That's why I like it, because it just brings so much ridiculous humor into the game.
I get it, yeah.
And since it's such a well-made game, we spend so much time playing it. We get so much enjoyment out of it. I don't mind spending $8.
Right.
It just doesn't bother me.
No, I get that. Yeah. And I don't mind, I think it all comes down to, and this is a conversation maybe for another podcast, is like where you spend your money in gaming is really what you're telling developers, hey, this is what I want more of. I want you to spend your time doing this. So if that's what you like and that's what you want to support, there's nothing wrong with putting money towards it.
Right. True. And
that's a conversation we can maybe have about The Last of Us Part 1.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And, the big money doesn't come from the people who buy a battle pass every season.
No.
The big money comes from the people who
buy everything.
See all the skins, buy all the skins and all that, exactly. The people who are constantly having to buy more V-Bucks, that's where the big money
And there are people who do that. They
Those
buy
are the fat
literally
pigeons.
Everything. Everything new that comes out, they have to have it all because they're collecting it and they get it all. But the thing is those are the people who are going to be the most burned when these servers go down.
Yes.
So it's are those, because there's not an infinite supply of those type of people.
No.
So once they're burned by one game, they may not do that in the next free-to-play game they go to play.
Good for them.
Yeah, right.
Don't do it now. If you're one of those people, you need to chill.
Oh yeah.
Find a skin you like and get it. And if another one comes out a little later, maybe get it, but don't buy them all. Don't buy them all.
Don't buy them all. You're wasting your money. So, like I was saying, what do you guys think? Is this a problem? Is this something that we need to work to preserve? Are these free-to-play games an issue, or is that just the way it is? Do we just need to accept it?
Yeah.
Let us know.
At least we've got Kana.
At least we got Kana. Now, speaking of, preserving games and having old retro games available to us, that's one of the things I like about physical retro games.
Yeah.
Is that you can go back and play them whenever you get the, hankering to do so.
And you don't even have to download any DLC.
Nope. You just go in, you pop your cartridge in, you play it. And this is something that I was thinking about this week as I was, I got some labels for N64 games. And as I was doing that, I was thinking about, all the retro consoles I have. And I keep them hooked up, even though I don't play them very often. I keep the SNES, the N64, all, a lot of retro consoles hooked up, ready to play at a moment's notice. I'm ready to go. And I was wondering if other gamers do this or if, I'm an outlier.
Yeah.
So I asked on a poll, do you keep any retro consoles hooked up and ready to play? And Daniel, you want to hit us with those results?
Absolutely. At 43%, we had yes, I still play some retro games on the original hardware. And at 57%, we had no, I mainly only play newer games. So a fairly decent split.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot of people do, keep some sort of retro console hooked up. And
also, what is retro like? When does retro start?
That is a tough one. In my mind, and I don't know why this is, I think it's the HD versus standard definition gaming.
Yeah.
So, like, in my mind, if it's HD, I don't consider it retro. Like, say, like the, like, here, it's weird, but like the Xbox 360, certainly not retro.
Yeah. No.
Xbox is a little weird because
Xbox is right on the line.
It's on the line. So like but like GameCube is also weirdly on the line. I think
In my mind, it is. Yeah.
I would consider like maybe the beginning of retro to be that GameCube, PS2, Xbox era.
That's pretty much what I think.
That to me is the line. Like it's hazy there. Anything before that certainly is retro in my mind. Anything newer than that doesn't feel retro.
And I like, honestly, if you'd asked me a few years ago, I would have probably said, well, it starts at like N64 or PS1.
Yeah.
But as I've gotten older.
But as we get further away from them, things start becoming retro.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
True. So that's logical, I guess.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, like as we get further in time, what was retro becomes very retro, and then what was new becomes retro.
But when I think retro, I immediately think SNES.
Oh,
That's the first thing I think.
I mean, because that's when we were.
I think SNES and I think Game Boy. That's what I think immediately.
So, Daniel, do you keep any retro consoles hooked up on your TV to play?
No, not on my TV. I do have my old GameCube, and I would like to have it hooked up, but it doesn't. It doesn't read discs anymore, so that sucks. And my SNES is at your house. I mean, it's missing.
It also doesn't work.
Well, it's missing a piece. I think I could get that piece though. It's a weird little power adapter piece that they did back in the day.
The back part where you plug in the power cable, there's like a little plastic piece that apparently on yours somehow got knocked out, fell out.
Yeah, I think I know whose house it would be at.
Yeah,
I don't think I would ever be able to recover it.
You could probably fix that fairly.
Oh yeah, I think so too. And my N64 is also at your house, and it works.
It does work.
Yeah. So, maybe I would really like to get myself like a smallish CRT TV, and like kind of set it up in here and have like a little retro station. That's really what I would like to have. I just haven't done it yet. So it's in the works. But I do still play some Game Boy stuff. So those aren't hooked up to the TV.
No, I mean, and that's kind of this poll kind of neglects handhelds because it's really catered towards like home console TV type, things that you'd hook up to your TV.
And I do still occasionally play those old retro games, but I normally just emulate them. So
yeah, I tend to not emulate. Like right now I'm playing Paper Mario, which is an N64 game, but we're playing it through Nintendo Switch Online just because
using the power of emulation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying because it's it's easier. So I mean, I do emulate some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Right.
I want to play that too. I never played Paper Mario.
Dude,
I
that
really
is a
want to play it.
long game.
You know what I really want to play too? Because I watched the Nintendo Life hour-long video gushing about how this is like one of the greatest games ever. I have to play Earthbound.
It's on Nintendo Switch
I
Online.
know. I really want to play it. I don't know if it's going to be next or what, but I want to play it.
Yeah, I've always heard good things about it.
Man, that video made me want to play it bad.
Is it turn-based RPG?
I think so.
Okay.
But it's they say it like breaks every convention that a traditional JRPG has. Mm-hmm. So,
I know nothing about that series.
and
I
they
know
also
nothing.
the way they described it is like they were like, this is how these Japanese game developers, when they were creating Earthbound, probably thought about America, because Earthbound is, I think, based in America.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like, it's just full of these like obscure and sometimes a little twisted like pop culture references from like back in the day, and I just think that would be so cool.
And you have to report back onto us once you play that one.
Andy played Earthbound on the SNES Classic, and he got all the way to the final boss and stopped.
Maybe it's a hard boss, man.
Yeah, he said he like didn't go into it prepared, and
That's the way some of those RPGs are, man. If you don't, and if you're like me, if you get to somewhere and you're not prepared, you hate to backtrack and grind to get ready for it again. It's just annoying.
yeah,
But we had some comments about this poll about do you have any retro consoles hooked up? We had Celeria Rose who said, no, for retro stuff, I mostly use emulation on PC, though I still try and own the actual game when I reasonably can get a hold of it.
yeah. I feel you on that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I do think that if I'm going to emulate, would still like to have a physical version just purely for the collection. Mm-hmm.
Me too.
And I guess that's the legal way to do it too, which I guess you make you feel a little bit better about doing that. But still, just for me, it's just all about having it for the collection because I collect stuff.
Yeah. Well, good luck if you ever try to collect Earthbound.
Yeah.
Did you know that I don't mean to keep gushing on Earthbound, but
You've never even played it, Darren.
I know, but that video just made it sound so great. Did you know that every Earthbound came in like a huge box? Because they all came with strategy guides. And they did that because they knew this was going to be marketed towards an American audience. And they didn't think the American audience was well versed in RPGs, and they thought they would just play it and be frustrated. So they included a strategy guide in every game.
Probably was a wise idea.
Yeah. Interesting.
Those Americans don't know how to play them RPGs.
That's a fact. So our next comment is from Ralph Daly. He said, I keep the Wii and the Wii U hooked up. The Wii for my collection of GameCube games, and the Wii U for its large collection of other retro games, including all the major Zelda ones.
Yeah, I mean, like the Wii U is because it had the virtual console and on the Wii, but the Wii U had like everything. Mm-hmm. The Wii U is great for the virtual console. I mean, unfortunately, those servers are being shut down in March of 2023, and you'll no longer have access to purchasing games through there, which is such a shame because they have like everything.
I know it, and I don't think that'll ever be switched. So,
I think the Switch. I disagree. I think that the Switch will be getting.
you think it's going to get a virtual console?
No, but I think that over time we will eventually have access to pretty much everything in one way or another.
Oh, I do too, but I don't think we're going to have like the virtual. Well, I don't know about everything, but
I think Nintendo Switch Online is going to continue to add N64. They pretty much already got all the SNES stuff that most people care about. There are a few things missing. And NES stuff. I think the N64 stuff will get there. And I think that come very soon, prediction, we're going to start to see more and more GameCube stuff. I think that's going to be a next year thing.
Do you think the GameCube stuff is going to be added to NSO, or do you think it's going to come in the form of like remasters and things like that? Because that's what I think.
That one.
Yeah.
Because you think about the Switch now is got, it's ballpark around 110, 115 million units sold. The GameCube sold like 30 million. Mm-hmm. So we're talking less than a third, if not a fourth, of what the Switch currently sold.
Yeah.
So there's so many things that people have not experienced. So many games. And I think if they can just start to remaster, create collections and sell them, I think we're going to get physical versions of these, which actually to me is even better. I would rather...
Yeah.
I mean, I think that the penny pincher in me wishes they just release an NSO.
Yeah.
And I could play them that way, but the collector in me wants them to be physical versions.
Yeah. I want the Game Boy stuff to go to NSO. That's what
And
I
I think
want.
we will get that too.
Yeah, I really want that.
I really do, and I think that the Switch is going to be weird because I think that when we get Switch, next iteration on the Switch, I think it's going to be fully backwards compatible with everything. I really do think that this Nintendo is hitting its stride with this console, and they found their niche, and they're going to go with it.
Well, I hope so. And I hope they continue to improve online.
I think they
As
will.
long as that is the trajectory that they're on, I'm happy.
I think we have good things. I think we do in terms of being able to play. Like we're about to, once they announce this Twilight Princess and Wind Waker bundle that's everyone's talking about. Once we get that, we're gonna have every Zelda game on the Switch in one way or another. Except maybe there's some like maybe like some handheld like 2D Zelda, but every 3D Zelda.
Definitely the the Oracle games and.
Well, I was about 3D Zeldas. Every 3D Zelda will be there. There's some 2D Zeldas missing, but that
That's
there is
pretty
just it's the first time that's ever happened. Well, on Wii U, we had everything up until that point as well. So I think that there's just like we're gonna start seeing more and more of that. We have every no, not every 3D Mario because we're still missing Galaxy 2. That's the only 3D Mario we're missing.
That's right.
We got to get that one. Got to get Galaxy 2 on Switch. So,
interesting.
Angel Sierra said, sometimes I want to play something retro, but it's messy to put all the cables and connect everything to work properly. Yeah, that's probably that's why I keep it hooked up.
Yeah.
The way I'm not like trying to take it in and out. And you got to have the space for that and you got to, plan on it. But if you can do it, it's so much more convenient because I know that even if I had the console sitting somewhere and if they just weren't hooked up, I'd want to play something and be like, I'm not going to do it.
Yep. That's why I want to have like a dedicated spot they're ready to go. If I'm going to do it, that's how I want to do it. Yeah.
There's a lot of solutions for that. Like
yeah, I know you have a line doubler.
I have the RetroTink. I have the RetroTink 2X now, which is a line doubler. Now there's the RetroTink 5X, which really is amazing, but it's expensive. The 2X was expensive. The 5X is.
I'd really like to just find a non-expensive CRT TV at like a yard sale or something.
I have one.
That's what I would. Yeah.
I have one I used to.
Yours is big though. I don't really want one that big.
It's nice though.
Because I want it to kind of fit somewhere.
That's where I used to do all the retro consoles. Yeah. I hooked them up. That's when we used to play
mad Diddy Kong racing.
Yeah. and it's a great experience on the CRTs, but
yes,
CRT TV.
It just feels right.
It does. It just feels good.
Let's see. Heather Cook said, only if the original Xbox counts as retro, which we already said we think is right on the line.
It's right on the line.
She said she's got to have her Mech Assault and her NFSUG 2.
NFSUG. What is that?
NFSUG 2.
I'm
also the best version of The Sims 2.
The best version of The Sims 2. Ooh,
what is
man.
NFSUG 2?
Hold on, let me think about this.
NFSUG 2. Game. Need for Speed Underground 2.
Oh, Need for Speed. Did that ever get ported? So you gotta tell me about this, Heather. Mech Assault and this Need for Speed. See, in my mind, like pretty much every game that was released on Xbox was playable on the 360 and then the Xbox One. Like the Xbox is so good about backwards compatibility, but I know there are some games that never got the ability to be played on future consoles. Are these games that cannot be played on future consoles, or do you just like playing them on an original Xbox?
It doesn't have 360 listed as a platform, but that's probably because
it wasn't released on it. But normally they're playable. Normally you can just throw the disc in. Like I've thrown an original Xbox disc into my Series X and it can play it. So,
right.
I don't know.
I'm gonna figure this out right now.
Yeah. So, but I know that there are some games that didn't make it. Like that.
You can play it on a 360.
But I know that like not all of them got moved all the way up. And some games you are stuck on like the Xbox. But it's pretty few.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know about Mech Assault either. I never played that.
I don't know. But let us know, Heather. I'm sure you know. I'm sure you have much more experience with that than we do. Daniel hit us with this GV.
Jeevis S said that they keep their PS4 Pro hooked up so they can remote play my PS5 in case the TV is occupied.
Now that's
not retro.
The PS4 Pro, that's not retro. That's only a couple years old. That might be retro to like a fly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It'd be like
Yeah.
ancient history to a fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a fly?
Holy crap.
We have flies commenting on our.
Jeeves S.
It's a fly.
Jeeves.
You a fly?
All right, hit us with Steam
It was
Deck.
this was 3 days ago. They're probably dead.
Oh,
Oh no. We're sorry. Thank you for commenting on our YouTube videos while you were alive.
we appreciate that.
Well, it'll be really bad. Never mind. I'm not even gonna.
Let's just not take it that dark.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Randy.
There's a dark joke to be made there, but I'm not gonna make it. Steam Deck Hub. The hub for everything Steam Deck.
Apparently. Allegedly.
Allegedly. I just play them on PC nowadays, if at all. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of people emulate.
Yeah.
It's very convenient.
I feel you.
I get it. And, I'm always torn. Like, if I want to play a retro game, I'm like, do I want to emulate it and get the convenience of having, like, save states all the time? Those are nice. Mm-hmm. There's so many convenient things. I can play it on lots of times better resolution, better frame rates. Like, there are so many great things that come along with emulation.
Yep.
But then I'm like, there is some magic about playing it on the original console. And I don't. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to just decide.
And I'll tell you where magic meets modern convenience is in the flash cart.
Where you can play it on the original hardware.
Yes.
And it feels just like.
And you still normally will get your save states and things like that. It depends on the cart, but
yeah.
You can still have your save states, but you can still play it on the OG hardware. That's the sweet spot, man.
Yeah, that may be what I need to look into doing more.
My flash cart for Game Boy Advance doesn't support save states for GBA, but it does for Game Boy and Game Boy Color. So there may be a version out now that does, but I don't even care because it lets me play any Game Boy game I'd ever want to play on a Game Boy.
Right. That's too cool.
Yeah, it's just too cool.
So, yeah. Let us know, guys. If you didn't comment on this originally, let us know if you have any retro consoles hooked up, ready to go. Why do you have them hooked up, ready to go?
What's wrong with you?
No, what's right about you?
I'm just kidding.
What's right about you?
No, that's awesome.
I agree with you. Okay.
Well, that brings us to our final segment, Randy.
Yeah, games of
the week. What you been playing?
So, I'll tell you what I've been playing.
I wish you would.
This weekend, I have done nothing besides when we're gigging.
We've gigged a lot.
We have played a lot of gigs. But when I wasn't playing gigs, I've been playing The Last of Us Part 1.
Yes.
And it is... I'm obsessed.
I'm sure.
It's my favorite game, one of my favorite games of all time. And it's presented in a way that I knew it was going to be good.
Yeah.
I knew that the presentation was going to be like top notch. Mm-hmm. But I didn't realize, like, part of me, the cynical side of me, thought that maybe this really was just a cash grab. Mm-hmm. I thought maybe they really were just milking the
I didn't think
of
that
Us.
for 1 second.
But now that I've played it, I realize how much love and attention they have put into making this game even better.
Yeah.
And it really is like playing the game for the first time again. Mm-hmm. I realized, one, how good the game is just on its own, but then all the additions that they've added in. I think the thing that probably, weirdly enough, has been the coolest thing to me is all the new like breakables in the environment and the new sound design. And it's just
the kill animations that interact with the environments.
Dude, it is so much more brutal.
Yeah.
It is much more in line with like what you got from Part 2.
Part 2 was
which
brutal.
was just like brutal in a way that no other game can convey.
Yeah.
And now, Part 1 it's the way it should have been originally. Yeah. It feels so right. Mm-hmm. And, I don't really want to have the argument about is the game worth $70 or not.
We just
because I think it's kind of I get that, like, for some people, it's just too expensive. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that they're wrong.
Right.
But I also think that for the people who think it is worth $70, I think they're right too.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as cut and dry as just saying like it's not worth $70 or it is worth $70. Because I think that there are arguments to be both ways. And I think it just depends on you.
Yeah.
It's a personal thing. It's not just like a right or wrong here.
Yeah. Well, I have a story about The Last of Us Part 1.
Yeah, I know you do.
So, I love The Last of Us. It's my favorite game of all time. And I would like to be able to play Part 1. And I'm handling this pretty well. Like, I'm doing okay. And, anyway, I pre-ordered the freaking game. And FedEx, not to name any names here, but it was FedEx, apparently made an attempted delivery of a game to my house and couldn't pull it off. Now, you and I have some experience with this because we happen to be next door neighbors. Mm-hmm. And we've lived on this road for a number of years now. And what that means is that I had an especially lazy delivery driver who didn't think they would be able to turn their truck around on our road, basically. It's probably what it comes down to, because our road is not a throughway. It is what you might call a dead-end road. But there's plenty of room to turn around, FedEx, just so you know. It's been done by bigger trucks than what you had, I guarantee it. So bring me my game, or else. Or I'm going to go Last of Us Part 1 on you. It better show up tomorrow.
And this is one of the things that, like, we've had this conversation about ordering.
Hashtag first world problems.
Pre-ordering games through the mail is like, I did it with The Last of Us Part 1.
Yeah.
I did it through GameFly, and they shipped it through USPS.
I did it through GameStop.
And you did it through GameStop, who shipped it through FedEx. Mm-hmm. And really, them shipping it through FedEx was the problem.
Yeah, it wasn't GameStop. It's definitely a FedEx issue.
I got mine on release day.
And, this is all, and it's all my fault. Because it's all because I was just too lazy to drive 20 minutes to the GameStop and just put in an in-person pre-order. But I shouldn't have had to worry about it. Like, I had a lot of stuff going on the past couple of weeks. Like, I forgot the one time I was down there.
Right.
But it shouldn't have been an issue.
No, it shouldn't have been an issue. But here we are, now. As we record this on Sunday, and it released on Friday, and you are still without. Actually, no, today is Monday.
It is Monday.
It is. We're recording this on Monday this time.
On Labor Day.
So you are now, 4 days? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days, and you still haven't got to play Last of Us Part 1 yet.
Yeah.
Now all because of FedEx.
Yeah, and I bet it's awesome, too.
Dude, it's so good. It's so good.
All I can do is look at my Joel and Ellie poster and just think about what might be.
And looking at the Joel and Ellie poster makes me think of, like, another thing that I love about it is the new character models, especially Ellie.
Yeah.
I've already gone on record saying that I didn't like the original Ellie character model.
I don't understand. I've never understood that. I don't have any problems with it.
Well,
I mean, it's Ellie. It's the Ellie I know.
Yeah, no. But now the new Ellie model looks like Ellie from Part 2, but younger.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah. I think that the Ellie model is much better. And but everyone's character models have been updated. There's so much more life in the eyes and their their facial expressions they have little ticks, and like you can tell when they're like making like things that are just like a little more expressive. You know? It's just that much better. And I can tell you that like the opening of The Last of Us is very powerful, very emotional. I can say that with the new animations and the new character models and the new facial expressions, it hit me in a way much harder than it did with the original.
I believe that.
Yeah, it's just like that much more powerful.
So would you go on record saying it's the definitive way to play The Last of Us?
Without a doubt.
Nice.
If you're going to play The Last of Us, there's no point after this to go back and play the original. Mm-hmm. There's just no reason, because this is the game, but the best version of the game.
Yeah.
Everything looks phenomenal. The water, we were like, there's like puddle reflections and things that just look so good. I don't know if it's like ray tracing or I don't know, but it is so phenomenal. The lighting, the sound design, it really is all top notch. And if you've never played it, I really do think it is worth $70.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any argument at all there.
Well, I'm excited to play it eventually.
When you get it. I'm sorry FedEx did you the way they did.
I'm just not. I don't even know. I can't even.
So
all I can do is play Fortnite until they take the servers away.
Well, have you Have you been playing any other games this week?
Yes. So I have been playing a fair amount of Fortnite. I grinded my way to Darth Vader, made me very happy. I can do the Imperial March, and then 1 second later make him do the Money Don't Jiggle Jiggle dance. I didn't know I wanted that in my life, but now that I have it, I can't imagine an existence without it. We played a little bit of Sea of Thieves, but outside of the streaming games, it's been Cult of the Lamb, and only Cult of the Lamb. I haven't been able to play it in 2 days because we've been really busy. But I'm going to play it today, and I'm about to beat the third of the 4 main bosses. So I'm getting there, and it's getting hard. It's getting to be kind of hard. But my cult is growing, Randy. My followers have doubled in size and power since last we spoke.
They keep procreating.
And they keep dying, too. One thing, I don't know if I've told you about this, but they, age. Your followers age, and at some point, they hit a certain age, and they become elderly. And they can't work anymore when they're elderly. You can't even send them on mission trips. I thought you could. But there are some things you can do. You can let them die. Okay. Because eventually they'll die. And you can bury them. And your followers can go pay respects. And that's very nice. Or you can go a different route. And you can murder them in their sleep and harvest their meat. And feed it to your followers.
Oh, no.
Or you can sacrifice them in a ritual and harvest their meat and feed it to your followers. And I've done both of those things a number of times now. But yesterday, I did play a little yesterday. Yesterday, I did something new. I got a new ritual, and it's called a fighting pit. And it's like this ritual where you take 2 followers and you make them fight. And so I put the youngest follower I had against the elderly follower. Because I thought for sure the young follower would kill the elderly follower. But that old guy beat the crap out of the young follower and knocked him out. And then it cuts to you. And you can give him a thumbs up or thumbs down like Caesar style. And I mean, he'd already embarrassed me. So I gave him a thumbs down. Elder guy killed him. And we harvested his meat.
That game is insane.
That game is insane. It is so funny. It's just great. It's a great indie game.
Yeah, I haven't seen anybody talking about this game, or at least very few people I've seen talking about it. This one's flown under the radar.
Man, I've seen a lot of people talking about it.
Yeah, you must be looking. You must be on a different part of YouTube than I am.
I think I watch more indie stuff on YouTube, maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but there's I don't know. Beat 'em Ups mentioned it. Bob and Wood both mentioned it. Mm-hmm. They're not obscure.
No.
But anyway, yeah, Call of the Lamb slaps. If you ain't played it yet, jump on it.
Mm-hmm. Well, besides Last of Us Part 1, I honestly, the last few days, I have only been playing that. I've kind of taken a break from the other games. Mm-hmm. But I have been playing Kingdom Hearts still. So yeah, I got to a boss. If you've played Kingdom Hearts, you got to give me some tips on how to get through this giant Ursula boss. It is so hard.
Is it under the sea?
It's under the sea, man. And
down, is everything better?
Everything's better down where it's wetter. Take it from me, man.
Okay.
And although there's a lot of sand, they also have a hot crustacean band.
Nice. Very well done.
Yeah. So this giant Ursula boss is so hard. And I have looked up guides online of how to beat it, and I still can't do it. Mm. You know, like when you have a boss fight and you eventually have to take a break and you're like, okay, I'll come back tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I went back the next day, tried it, and then I was like, and then I have to stop again. And then Last of Us Part 1 came in, thank God. So I haven't tried it. I haven't made my day 3 attempt, but I'm going to probably maybe later today.
It helps me to just watch somebody do it.
Oh, I have,
even without reading a guide, just watch somebody do it and know that it's possible.
I have. This is hard. This is like, and I do look. I've looked up a lot of stuff, and everyone says on all the guys like a lot of people consider this to be the hardest boss. Okay, I get why.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts is weird in that it has some severe difficulty spikes. Some of it's super easy, and then all of a sudden you're at the hardest thing you've ever done.
That's crazy. I've never played it.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it could be that I just need to go back and grind some more, and maybe I don't know. I just don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But I've been playing that, and I've been playing Link Between Worlds, which is also very enjoyable. But I've taken a break from both those games because Last of Us Part 1 has just become my obsession.
Yeah. my next Switch game after I finish Cult of the Lamb, I'm considering making it Link's Awakening. Speaking of Zelda,
Very, very good.
I really want to play that game, but I'm also, I don't know, I may go play Earthbound. I just don't know yet.
I can tell you, Link's Awakening is. I mean, I haven't played that many 2D Zeldas, but that one is phenomenal.
Yeah, I love the way it looks. I love the art style on that remake. It looks so good.
It's great.
So I know I'm gonna love. I'm pretty sure I'll love both those games.
I'm sure. I'm sure you'll like either one. I'm sure they'll both be good. But and I've been playing Paper Mario with Catherine.
That's right.
But I mentioned that earlier. But that game it's so much longer than I thought it would be, and it takes a long. I mean, it's an RPG.
Yeah.
Full on RPG, and but it's very good. And I'll tell you, Catherine has been loving it, and this is her first like turn-based RPG. She really thought that she would not like a turn-based RPG, and I'm not generally a fan of them either. But there's just something about this game, man.
That's awesome.
But anyways, I think we're going to be finished. So until next time, I'm Randy.
And I'm Daniel.
And this has been Gaming Gig.
Peace out.